Can the world's strongest man, Mitchell Hooper, actually break the shot put world record if he were to train? Maya Lesnar is back on top of the indoor shot put in the NCAA. And is weight throw finally surpassing shot put as the biggest event indoors this season? Find out on this week's Throw Show.
We're Army Throws, and you're watching the Throw Show. Be Navy!
And welcome back to another episode of the Throw Show. Whoa. I'm, of course, your host, Jason, along with the People's Champ, Olympic trials competitor, and the head throws coach for youth development at Throws University, Mr. Sam Weeks, Team Fire Me Up himself.
Yes, sir.
And before we begin, I just want to send a special thank you to Army West Point Throws Group. They were super awesome to do that little shout out for us for the Throw Show. If you're a throw squad, whether it's high school, college, doesn't matter which, can be from anywhere, and you want to be on the Throw Show, get your throws group together. You can send in videos just like Army Throws did, and we'll feature you on upcoming throw shows. Make sure you DM us on Instagram, and we'll be happy to do it. Okay, so Sam, it's another week in the indoor season. It's our second episode of 2025. And one thing I'm really excited about as we move forward into this sport that we love so much is there's a lot more conversation about how we can grow it for larger audiences. I feel like it's taken a while, but we're finally having the conversations that are going to push the sport forward. And one example of pushing the sport forward, two-time world champion Joe Kovacs, the second greatest shot putter of all time, just did a collab with one of the biggest fitness influencers in the entire world, and that was Mitchell Hooper. What we're looking at here is Joe actually teaching the world's strongest man, Mitchell Hooper, how to throw the shot put. What was your take when you saw this launch? I believe this launched about 2 weeks back. We just released a video earlier this week on Throws University of Dane reacting to this video. What do you think exposure like this does for the sport?
It opens the community up to it opens up to a whole new community. Obviously, people in the strongman events can see this. I'm sure that they know of shot put, from other individuals such as Eddie Hall making videos about it. But as their community continues to grab new people, collaboration like this just, brings in more eyes to the sport of track and field, but specifically throwing. So it's definitely cool. Obviously, one of the world's best showing one of the world's strongest. I feel like that's something that we don't get too often, and I think initially it was a cool video.
Yeah, one thing I'm excited for is two things related to this. So I've had conversation with Joe in the past, and he's mentioned this publicly, so I'm fine talking about it. He's talked about wanting to bring the shot put into the Arnold. By the way things currently stand, we're about a month out from the Arnold. That's probably not going to happen this year, but Joe is a Rogue athlete, same as Mitchell Hooper. Rogue sponsors a lot of World's Strongest Man competitors. And it would be exciting to see the potential of video like this, because this video has over 240,000 views currently. So that's a lot of good exposure for the event. But what it has me thinking is there could be enough interest there that Rogue would want to bring the shot put as an indoor event to the Arnold. And that's a level of exposure just the sport hasn't seen. And I think it'd be perfect goal alignment in the sense that you're getting in front of strength sport fans, powerlifting fans, bodybuilding fans, strongman fans. They would like the shot put. So I hope that they can get it done and feature in the future. And I think it's only going to grow the sport because you're going to introduce it to a fan base who's probably going to like it.
Absolutely.
And one thing I'll say about this is it's good to get Joe on YouTube in a video like this because it features Joe well. It shows his personality. It shows his expertise of strength and knowledge about throwing the shot put. And I hope that him and, his coach, wife Ashley, post more videos on his YouTube channel because it seemed like a lot of people in the comments really like Joe. So I think it's really cool to see what Joe's doing. And if he could post more on YouTube, I think it'll grow the sport that much further, which kind of takes us into our next video. Ryan Krauser, the world's greatest shot putter, the best of all time, 3-time Olympic champion, world record holder. He's been going really hard on YouTube for like about last year and a half, 2 years. And his most recent video is just him training and him setting up his, his own circles, his gym, getting almost 30,000 views. What's exciting to me about this is these are views that we can't get on Throws U, only on rare occasions. So to see someone like Ryan, just people get to hang out with him, they get to watch him do his thing. It's that level of exposure that I was talking about with YouTube that's going to bring more people to the event.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, Ryan is the greatest shot putter ever, and I feel like we personally haven't had too much insight on, what he does with his training and just who he is as a person. So, having this YouTube channel kind of opens that up, and, we get to see like what the world's greatest is truly like. Obviously from a training aspect, from a throwing aspect, but just him as a person. I feel like we've never really had that. And now, with Ryan and, his team kind of pushing that on his channel, it's like we get to see that. And I think this is definitely what the community wants. It's like, we get to see what Ryan is doing. So, Ryan, if you see this, please keep making this. We all love it.
Yeah, no, I love when Ryan drops a video because, like you said about the learning aspect, as an athlete, there's a lot of value here. But just getting to know him as a person, you get to realize like he's just a really nice guy who just likes to lift heavy and throw far.
He's just a chill guy.
He's just a chill guy, man. And, that's the thing is it makes you want to support him even more. And I'm hoping that, this can be open the doors for future sponsorships for the events so we can draw more attention to the events in the upcoming years. And I just want to cover this one more time, mainly because I want to show support for him. Peyton Otterdahl was the third man on that Olympic team, and he just started his YouTube channel about 2 months ago. He's been killing it. He's been getting good viewership when he posts about his throwing. And I think it's like exciting to see that, like, Peyton's another guy, like, it's very, very, like, all three of them, super nice guys. Like, we've all had a chance to talk to him, interview him, and it's like really, really nice guys. It's great that Peyton gets to show off his personality again, show off his training. And I hope they keep pushing it forward. So Peyton, if you're watching this, please, all three of you guys, keep making videos. We love to see it. It grows the community. And you're going to introduce new people to the sport that may not originally have seen you guys before. And it's only going to grow the sport for everybody.
Yeah, and Peyton's hilarious. The thing about his videos is obviously like he goes over his training, goes over his throwing, but like he adds his humor. And I feel like that's something that you might get with a Crosser video, you might get with a Joe, but like if you're really wanting something like boom, like I feel like Peyton's the way to go. So honestly, go watch all three of them. About to be 4 with our next person. But honestly, just support throwers. Throwers support throwers. Let's keep it pushing.
Yeah, and honestly, one thing between Sam and I, we're big anime nerds, so it's like Peyton has done the anime poses at the last 2 Olympics, and it's like they've both been One Piece poses, so he just has a unique personality that I think like young kids in like, early 20s, teenagers right now could really relate to. Yeah, so the next one is up is, it's our boy, Garage Strength Zone, Eric Favors, Olympian for Ireland. His background probably looks kind of similar because he actually shot this video right here in the little studio here. We like to really help out our athletes, but his channel's starting to take off a little bit. He actually critiques some, throwers' throws, some high school, college kids' throws, and it was just good, little community give back by reviewing their throws so that he could give his expertise as an Olympic level athlete, back to the community. And, even with stuff like this, I'd like to see more throwers try something like this. Eric obviously wants to do his own thing and kind of like promote himself and his personality, but like just the idea of giving back to throwers and like, giving them advice that could really help them throw far and get better.
Absolutely. As we can see, he was doing analysis of Antonio. I know Antonio, he goes to Assumption, that's in Worcester.
Oh, shoot,
so
I did not know that.
Shout out to Antonio, shout out to Coach Whitney over at Assumption, Massachusetts all the way.
Hell yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. And you can also catch Sam on Eric's channel sometimes when we do the Mass Monsters podcast. There's 3 episodes currently live on Eric's channel. So make sure you subscribe to Eric's channel. We'll have all these channels linked down below in the description. Now we'll get into the throws of the week. And the first one off is our boy, Nick Curtis. hitting a new indoor personal best, 2044 as his opener at Iowa. He's setting himself up well for indoor nationals. Sam, you're the coach amongst the two of us. What do you think of Nick's throw here?
All right, so initially, this was probably the best save from like a big man I think I've seen. Nick and Dane have been working pretty hard on technique, just dialing the little things. I'm not gonna say what they're working on, but it's clearly coming together, as Jason just stated. This was a new indoor PR. This is also the GS leader amongst the shot putters. So, shout out to Nick. He opened up really well, and I believe he's competing this weekend with some of our other guys. So let's see what happens.
Dude, that's actually something what you just pointed out. This is the reason why I love the throws group so much in its current state. We have 3 guys right now all repping garage strength at these major meets. Tamand, Nick, and Eric. And they're all right about at the same level. So it's like really cool to see each week one of them could surpass the other and take. And that was what made last outdoor season so fun, because Eric sets his national record at the beginning of the year. So now Tamand and Nick have to chase Eric. Then Nick breaks 21 for the first time. So now Tamand and Eric are chasing Nick. And then Tamand takes over the lead from Nick by a couple centimeters to take the lead for the whole year. And it's just that internal competition amongst the 3 of them. And they're all good friends. It's all like in good sporting fun. But like, as a friend to all 3 of them and just like watch them do it, it makes every event, every meet so exciting.
Absolutely. And we have a few guys who are, chasing. We have Jordan West now.
Yep.
We have Luke Warning. We have Jeff Klein. Those guys are learning, and they're feeding. And I feel like, they might put their name in that bowl. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll see later how strong Luke is getting. So I think he could be setting himself up, getting close to PR shape later on in the year too. Next up we have, and something I think is really interesting. So we've talked about Joe Brown before. He might be the most gamer of gamers there's ever gamed in the sport of discus throwing. This dude just somehow pulls it out whenever he needs to. He had a massive throw at the Olympic trials. And he was making hints early on in the off season, like, oh, get ready, I'm working with someone special. And no one really knew. And I think some people even asked us if he was going to be working with Garage Strength. But no, he's working with Ashley Kovacs.
Yeah. And
that is super exciting because I think Ashley's clearly one of the best coaches in the world. And it's going to be fascinating to see how her input is going to change his training and his performance, because we know that he knows when to do it, when he needs to do it. But like developing that consistency and maybe even getting more strength, because she obviously knows how to program strength with Joe. Like, what was your take when you saw Joe training with Ashley?
So I'm a big fan of Joe. I was obviously following, his throwing, his training. And, when he posted, he's like, oh, I got a new coach. I was like, oh, I truly wonder who it was. And through the, few posts, like, he would give us hints. And I actually texted Dane. I was like, yo, are you training Joe? And he was like, no, like, I'm not training Joe. And I was like, I wonder who he's training with. And then he finally revealed that it was Ashley. And, once he revealed that, I was just like, I was bewildered. I was dumbfounded. Like, I had no words at the time. I was just like, that's sick. Like, Ashley clearly has proven herself as one of the best coaches in the world. And now you have one of the the top gamers in the men's discus. So it's just like peanut butter and jelly. It's like, like that perfect combination. So I'm very excited to see what Joe does. I love that they're putting some of their training, tips and training stuff online. So it's like, it's really exciting to see. And I'm really excited to see what this year looks like for Joe.
One thing I'll say is something that probably made my week last week was, every time Ashley tries to post something on the Throwvax account, we usually try to share it on our story, right? And I think she sent us a message and she's like, I'm making more posts because Throws University keeps pushing me to do so because we keep sharing her stuff. So thank you, Ashley. That actually meant a lot to Sam and I because we both run that account together, mostly Sam. But it is doing so much benefit for the sport. And all your knowledge is going to make so many throwers so much better by listening to you. So
absolutely. And I mean, like, even just myself, some of the tips that you've been posting, it's like, to me, I think where I'm at currently as a coach, it's like, it's common sense. And sometimes to just have that refresher, it's like, oh, like, that makes sense. It's like, that's an easier way to put it. And, I want to say big shout out to Ashley, big thank you to Ashley, big thank you to Jokes. He's, demonstrating right here. And it's like, it's really cool to see like the world's best doing the fundamentals. And it's, it's just reinforcing where it's like, he's clearly at a level that we haven't got to yet, but like he's still doing the basics. He's still mastering the basics. And them showing that, I think, is really, really cool. And, both Ashley and Joe, just breaking down and really explaining why they do certain things. I feel like one is pushing the sport, one is pushing the education of the sport, and cool. And three, it's just cool to see. So
two things I'll add here. One thing I think that just, it makes Joe super relatable because he's actually showing a common mistake that a lot of throwers might make when trying to execute a half turn. And just to kind of show, yes, you've seen Joe do all these incredible feats of strength. All his throwing PRs are insane, but he's also human.
Yeah.
And like, he can make the same mistake that a high school thrower can make in training. Maybe your positioning's just a little off, your weight transfers a little off, so he falls away from the ball. And having that relatability just makes you that much more invested in him. I feel like it makes you be like, oh shoot, like maybe I could be like Joe. Very, very small chance of that because Joe is a just physical specimen, but there is still that little tie that you can relate to the athlete better. And another note, they're actually recorded this video. They're actually training at my alma mater, Capital University in Columbus, Ohio. So I haven't thrown out of that ring because I think that's new, but I am still friends with the throws coach at Capital. And I have definitely, I spent 3 years of my life in that facility every day trying to throw shot, trying to get a little better. And the last thing I'll show is just kind of Joe's training that I thought was unique. They posted was like him throwing in the rain. And the description here is relating back to the Paris Olympics and how it rained. And it's like Joe gamed up in that situation because he was having training experience just like this. And I think it's a worthwhile example for young athletes to follow. It's like, if conditions are bad, don't go inside. You need to learn how to train through it because you never know when a competition or maybe even the biggest meet of your life happens in terrible conditions, and you have to be ready for it.
I think I love this post because Ashley, the way that she worded the description, it was truly, giving game. And, I had to share it as soon as I saw it.
Who's this right here?
Obviously, I said it on my personal account, but I also shared it on Throws You, where it's like Joe's toss at the Olympic Games wasn't won at the Olympic Games. It was won during his preparation.
Yes.
100%. In this video, you clearly see like it's raining, the circle's wet. This is where he won that competition. It was through his preparation. And, I once again, Ashley, thank you for posting that because like it's true. Like it was all of their preparation that got him to that point.
100%. Keep it up, Ashley and Joe. We love it. And Sam, speaking of throwing in the rain, throwing in bad conditions, being ready for whatever life throws at you as a thrower, I want to take this time to mention to the audience that earlier this week, we just launched the Perfect Throws Season, a 12-week coaching guide. So if you're a coach or a coach who's looking to improve their skill set, and this is mainly for high school coaches, college coaches who may not have had that experience to coach prior to having to coach a season. We've seen it so many times at the high school level. You might be a jumps coach who, the throws coach left or they didn't have a throws coach to begin with, and you're asked and tasked to start coaching throwers, and you have no resources to learn how to actually be a throws coach. Well, this product that we just released, this course, will teach you everything you need to know. And it also provides a full 12-week training program that you can give to all your throwers. This is all stuff that was collaborated on with, Dane. He's coached, has how many Olympians, our other throws coach and at Throws University, Trevor Stutzman, Sam Weeks. Like, this is a collaborative effort of some of the greatest coaching minds to ever work with high school and college athletes. If you're interested in becoming a better throws coach, you want to get your team ready with a throws program that's designed specifically for your team, check out the Perfect Throws Season 12-week coaching guide. We also have, I think I edited like 30 videos all there explaining how each week of the program works, explaining the general tips that you need to know as a coach in order to get your kids motivated, develop a good culture. And that's like one thing that Dana's really tried to drill into this year. Culture is so important to get that buy-in from your athletes so they can achieve the best results possible.
I think this is the perfect resource, like you said earlier, for new coaches or anyone who wants to get better, anyone who wants to have additional resources. This is the whole spring season, the outdoor season mapped out for you. It comes with training, it comes with how-tos, it comes with a bunch of additional resources for you to master the outdoor season and, for you to put your athletes in a position to be successful. So, if you're looking for that guide, this is the perfect opportunity. And as of right now, we have a $50 sale. If you sign up before February 16th, I believe it is, you'll get you'll get $50 off. So don't miss out on that discount and don't miss out on this resource.
And referring back to the previous video we just watched about throwing in the rain, if that's something you've struggled with and trying to teach your athletes, or you're an athlete yourself, we have an entire video just talking about how to get better throwing in bad conditions, including the rain. So we hope you check it out. There's a link down below and in the pinned comment of this YouTube video. We'll see you this outdoor season. Okay, so everybody, she's back. Maya Lesnar is back with the NCAA indoor lead. She was NCAA indoor champion last year. As of course, Jada Ross popped off in the outdoor season, but Maya Lesnar is still one of the best women shot putters in the entire world. And she kind of stated her claim here, another throw, 1881 to have the NCAA lead. Sam, what are you seeing on this throw?
This is her first competition back this season. Clearly, all of the training that she's put in the fall is, paying off. Her best is 1910, so to go, 18.8, that's pretty good, for especially for your first competition.
That's like, what, 95, 97% of your PR?
Yeah, it's definitely up there. She had 2 tosses over 18, and she had all of her tosses over 17, so she's clearly in good shape. So it's like really exciting to see like what she can do, given more time, more preparation, because you can see when she gets to her power, she has a little bit of space, at the front. So it's like if you're throwing that far and still have a few things to fine tune, it's just exciting to see like how you can better that come NCAAs.
100%. It's going to be exciting to see what she does, especially when her and Jade, because Jada still has this indoor season left. Yeah. So them battling it out at indoor nationals, you never know. So despite what you see on screen, this is actually no longer the world lead. We're going to go over the world lead in the video following this. But the Olympic champion from Paris, Yemi, has just thrown 1977. I believe that was at the Nordenhausen meet. I know Eric's thrown at that meet a few times, but 1977, she looks good. She's a 20-meter thrower on her best day. Sam, what are you seeing on her opener for this year? Actually, no, sorry, I don't think that's the opener. But what are you seeing on this throw?
I believe she's had a couple of competitions under her belt so far, but she looks really, really smooth, and I think just building off of what she was able to accomplish the end of last season, it's like it's just pushing her forward to a whole new level, and she's already pushing far marks early on, and I feel like that's putting a statement out there for the the whole classification of the women's side of shot put, and it's saying like, hey, like I'm here, and it's just pushing women's shot even further, and looking at what's already been done so far, which we'll get into, it's like this is like that catalyst. It's like, hey, I'm the Olympic champ. I just opened up pretty big. What are you gonna do?
Well, there was a response from Jessica Schilder, and also actually Sarah Mitten as well. There hasn't been video that I've seen of Sarah Mitten's throw, but they are both tied right now for the world lead at 1985. Jessica Schilder had a huge year last year, throwing over 2030. I've always really liked Jessica Schilder's technique. Whenever she's on, I just think she looks so smooth, and she's very grounded on the finish. It's kind of, we don't really have the best angle to see, but we at least get to see the flight of the ball. The little bit that you can see, Sam, what are you seeing here?
Just like you said, she's super smooth. she gets long out of the back, she attacks the middle, and she transfers everything into the finish. I think the really big thing is if you can like screen record this or if you can slow this down, she really uses her legs at the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Her legs are the driving force, and all of that gets transferred up and then through, the upper body into the delivery. So, this is that answer to, the catalyst I just spoke of. So it's like, it's super exciting. And we have 4 women over 19 so far. We have Jessica at number 1. We have Yemi at number 2. We have Sarah at number 3. And we also have Chase Jackson at number 4.
Really? I actually haven't seen footage of her yet.
Yeah, she was at this meet as well. She went 1943.
Oh,
so,
that's a good mark, too.
Yeah. She's at 1943. Sarah's at 1975. Jessica's at 1985. And Yemi is at 1977. So.
Yeah, actually going to take a break from the indoor season just because the world record holder, Alekna, is doing world record holder things. Mm-hmm. And that's just taking a casual, take a walk to practice. It's nice weather out. Have your shirt off. Just kind of throw the disc around. Easy, casual 70-meter throw. Nothing crazy.
Nothing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously he's super young. He still needs to capture like those major titles. He does have the European title. Still needs to get that NCAA title. Just saying. No, I love it. Alekna, you're great. So I'm just joking. But he already has a world record. It'll be exciting to see this outdoor season. Like, can he start cementing his place that he could be like reaching actual GOAT status in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, he's already like almost right there. Like when you think of discus, he's definitely the guy. Like right now, he is the guy, and for this toss, like I feel like if it was anyone else, I'd be like 70 meters. I don't know, but. It's Alekna. He's already proven it, several times that he can throw over 70. So, once he said, I was like, oh yeah, like 70 meters. Like I believe that. Like he is that guy.
But he recorded this in January, my guy.
He is that guy.
He is that guy. What part? I don't know what to say. Alekna, for all my criticism, you are that guy. You are that dude. I just like poking the bear a little bit on some of the elite throwers. So as we get into more elite throwing, one thing I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if weight throw is taking over, throwing right now, dude, weight throw's been going off, especially in the men right now, like multiple, and we'll see this, multiple 24-meter throwers. Giovanni Meeks hits the NCAA lead at 23:55. You are my resident weight throw expert. What do you think of this throw, Sam?
I think this is probably one of the smoothest tosses I've seen. Giovanna, she went to Vanderbilt last year. Now she's at Cal with Mo Satara. So obviously, like,
he knows how to coach hammer.
He knows how to coach hammer. He knows how to coach weight. So I feel like that's really, really good for Giovanna. I had some notes here. She's only a sophomore and she has the NCAA lead. So like, it's exciting to see like what her season and what her career is gonna look like, having, Mo Satara. I don't want to say this for a fact, but I'm sure that Cameron still kind of trains over there. So like having that resource as well, and Ethan, all of those resources. So I'm very excited to see what she does. Definitely being so young.
Oh yeah, very exciting. Because you never know, like future 24-meter thrower. You never know with 24 meters that could be meaning mid 70 meter throws in the hammer. So we have the unexpected Olympian from last year, 3rd place, Erin Reese at the Olympic trials. We know she's a monster weight thrower. She's a 25-meter weight thrower on her best day, 24.77 here. Sam, you're a big fan of Erin. What did you think of this?
Once again, it was just like super, super smooth. I feel like there were a few women who opened up, the weight season, and I believe they were all, or most of them were competing together. So like it was super cool to watch. I was able to, I forget who live streamed it, but I was able to watch the competition on Instagram, and it was like, it was a good watch. They're super, super competitive. Obviously, indoor nationals is coming up, fairly soon. So, to see all of these women go big so early, it's just going to make, being at nationals that much, grand.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this because, as it currently stands, you and I should be at U.S. Nationals indoors this year and hopefully interviewing these athletes. So it's going to be fascinating to see like what led to these big performances and what led them to the championship later this month.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the top thrower, formerly Rachel Tanksos, now Rachel Richardson, at 25-14. Good. You take it from here.
Like I said, they all balled out. Like all of these women are balling out. They're going 23, 24, 25 in this case. Like nationals is going to be fun. Like, it's all of the women who, did well, last indoors, last outdoors, like they're truly balling out so early, this year. So it's like, let's see what happens, baby. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you have multiple women that are all crouching in on close to the world record so we could see multiple 25-meter throwers multiple 25-meter throws come nationals. So our next weight thrower is a first 24-meter throw of the year, and it was from Ryan Johnson out of Iowa. 24 meters. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, I believe there are two throwers from Iowa specifically who went 24 meters, in the past, few weeks. So it's like, it's exciting on that part. And, I wrote in my notes, it's like, is Iowa becoming or challenging the title of Throws U? Having, so many people go big so early on.
I don't know, because what's funny about that is Ole Miss actually
Miss
made
they
that
did.
claim.
They called that out.
Because I saw that and commented the eye emoji where it's like, oh, no, dude. I mean, it's like between them, Ole Miss, Cal, like you never know, especially come the outdoor season when you start seeing like how the other events shake out. Like, Cal probably has, at least from my understanding, currently the deepest in terms of actually discus and hammer, but then Ole Miss has hammer and shot put. So it's it's a good conversation to have.
But like talking about weight throw specifically right now,
Ooh, that's hard then. That's hard because, he has the women on his side too.
He does.
So this guy had the lead when we did our last throw show at 22.89. Now he goes even further. We have Daniel Reynolds at 24.31.
This throw is absolutely crazy. Like to do it, like everyone else that we watched who went 23 plus 24 meters, they were using, either a 3 or a 4 technique.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 2-turn. A 2-turn, 24 meters. Like that is absolutely wild. That I might be reaching, but that's like throwing 25 meters in shot put. Like that's crazy. Like it's out of this world. And I think the really cool part about this toss is it's number 11 all time in NCAA, but it's number 2 off of 2-turn.
Really?
Yes. This toss follows the great legend Judd Logan. He also did a 2-turn. He went 80 feet. I think it was a 1/4 inch. So, to be in that same category as one of the legends.
Judd Logan, yeah.
Yeah, like that's insane. That's insane. Like this is crazy.
That's good space to share, my guy. That's awesome. Also at Iowa, we saw Tanner Berg throw 24.72. So many guys breaking 24 in the weight right now. Like the depth chart of this event is getting crazy right now.
Yeah.
And there's only so much we can say. It's like, yes, it's another good throw, but Sam's the one who can kind of provide the feedback of like, what are they doing on the different, turns that allow them to actually get these credible distances. And it's like, we saw Daniel do it off a 2-turn.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on this 24.72?
Well, I mean, this is a 4-turn. I feel like everyone besides Daniel has, their technique very similar to what they would do in hammer. So, they're very long, they're very smooth, they're working with the ball, and they transfer, everything into the finish. So it's like, it doesn't surprise me that so many of these, great hammer throwers are throwing weight so far. I just feel like that's just like where that sport is coming. It has been evolving. Obviously these athletes are doing it. So like to see so many of these great hammer throwers to throw weight, this far and continue to throw far, it's like
it's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
it's-
literally speechless because it's a whole list of people.
All it does is just make the sport that much more exciting.
Yeah.
And then for our last video of the day, number 3 all-time in college, 2487, Trey Knight out of Cal State Northridge.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually had some garage strength athletes that went to Northridge several years back. So a smaller D1, and I believe that he's in grad school right now. But Trey Knight, 2487, like, there's still, 2 months left in the indoor season, a month and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Could he break Michael Lerman's NCAA record?
Dude, the way
Because
that
right now he's behind Michael Lerman and Kibwe.
Yeah. Dude, the way that everyone's been competing, I don't see why not. Why not challenge that? Like, this is almost 25. Like,
We could see a fourth place finish at 24 meters at nationals.
100%.
That's insane.
Even at NCAAs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At
I
NCAAs.
thought you were talking about indoor nationals. Well, indoor nationals is going to be crazy.
Oh, dude, weight is probably going to be like that has to be a premier event that people need to check out with the depth of.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's
that's
going to be
great.
23, 24 almost every round.
Yeah. Will we see another 26 by Danny Haw?
Dude, I hope so.
Oh, dude, to see that in person, that'd be crazy.
I'm going to take this time right now as we close out. I'm sorry, Danny, for not including you on the top 24 moments, top 10 moments of 2024. I completely forgot you broke the world record last year. I thought it was the prior year. So just know that Daniel Hall would have probably been our 10th place spot if I remembered and not being a dummy that he broke the world record last year. So, yeah. I hope Danny Hawk competes again at indoor nationals because we could be seeing probably one of the greatest weight throw competitions in the history of the sport.
100%.
Okay, so that was our last video. Thank you for joining us today. Guys, if you want to become a better throws coach, if you want to learn more about throwing, you want to improve your programming, make sure you check out our 12-week coaches course. Again, it's at the link down in the description. You can check it out so you and your coach can drop some bombs. Peace.